Welcome back to Golf Extra. Michelle Wie is one of the most well-known golfers in the history of women's golf. She gained notoriety when she played in several professional men's golf tournaments in her teens, and it appeared that she was ready to break out and become at the very least a star on the LPGA Tour. However, that hasn't been the way that things have turned out for Wie. So what really happened to Michelle Wie? And why didn't Wie meet the high expectations that were set for her? Stay tuned to find out all the details. We're willing to bet that there's quite a bit that you didn't know. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now let's get right into what really happened to Michelle Wie. Michelle Wie grew up in Hawaii and started playing golf when she was only 4 years old. As her mother was a former South Korea women's amateur golf champion, she definitely had the golf pedigree to be able to succeed. And she definitely succeeded in proving her skills at a young age. In the year 2000, when she was only 10 years old, Wie became the youngest player in the history of the tournament to qualify for a spot in the U.S. Women's Amateur Public Links Championship. Not only that, but she played well enough in the tournament to advance to the match play portion. This raised Wie's profile in the public eye, and her strong skills seemed like they could make her one of women's golf's greatest stars. Wie West continued to play Hawaii-based golf tournaments in the years to follow. She won 2 prestigious tournaments in 2001, including both the Hawaii State Women's Stroke Play Championship and the Jenny K. Wilson Women's Invitation, which is the oldest and most prestigious women's amateur tournament in Hawaii. She was still only 11 years old and was playing against full-grown adults. Now, that's impressive. So we can certainly see why the hype was taking place, and Wie did little to slow down the hype train. She dominated in the 2002 Hawaii State Open Women's Division Tournament, winning by a shocking 13-shot margin. In the 2002 season, she qualified for an LPGA event, becoming the youngest player at the time to do so. She did end up missing the cut in the Take Fuji Classic, coincidentally held in her home state of Hawaii, but she would make the cut at her next LPGA event the following year. Not only that, but it was a major tournament, the Kraft Nabisco Championship. She played well enough to be in contention going into the final round of the tournament, but didn't win. She also won the Women's Amateur Public Links Tournament in 2003, becoming the youngest person of any gender to win an adult event put on by the USGA. It might have seemed like Wie was on the fast track to golf superstardom, but what happened next was anything but expected. At only 14 years old, Wie used the sponsors exemption to become only the 4th woman ever and easily the youngest to play a men's PGA Tour event. This made headlines around the world and caused her to instantly become one of the most famous women's golfers in the modern game. She played well at this event, which was the 2004 Sony Open held in her home state of Hawaii. While she struggled in the first round, no doubt due to the nerves of playing such a large professional tournament at her young age, she bounced back in the second round to shoot a score of 68. This set a new record for the best round in a PGA Tour event by a woman, and sports commentators around the world started to talk about Wie as the potential next big thing in the game of golf, regardless of gender. Despite her strong performance at the Sony Open, Wie would miss the cut in the tournament, but it seemed like better things were on the horizon for her game. Still an amateur at this time, Wie turned professional in October 2005 while she was still 15 years old, and the golf world prepared themselves for the women's Tiger Woods to dominate. However, things didn't really go according to plan. Wie started off pretty strong, logging several top 5 finishes in major women's events like the Evian Masters, the Kraft Nabisco Championship, and the LPGA Championship. She also continued her participation in men's events like the Sony Open and the John Deere Classic, but she again failed to make the cut, despite staying somewhat competitive with the all-men's field. Wie also tried to qualify for the Men's US Open, making it through the first stage of a local qualifier, but failing to get through the final stage qualifier. At this point, Wie began to generate some level of controversy. While she was no doubt a quality golfer and close to a prodigy at her young age and level of success, her frequent appearances on the men's PGA Tour began to seem like publicity stunts more than they were attempts to play competitive golf. In her 8 PGA Tour events, Wie never was able to make the cut and play the last 2 rounds of golf with the rest of the field. She also tried her luck on the Japan Golf Tour, the Asian Tour, and the Canadian Tour, but also failed to make the cut in these tournaments. Controversy spiked further when it was reported that she was paid more just to appear at some events than the total purse for the specific event. Her performances on the Women's LPGA Tour were equally disappointing, as her promising start tapered off into many missed cuts. Wee also began to be hindered by wrist injuries, which caused her to withdraw from several key tournaments. Despite all of this, Wee continued to rake in the dough, making nearly $19 million in 2007 according to Forbes, but on the golf course, faith in her was fading fast. Wee never regained the promising form that had seemed destined to lead her to fame in her teenage years. She remained an LPGA golfer capable of competing on any given day, but was constantly slowed by injuries and inconsistent performances. In her career, she did end up winning a total of 4 LPGA tournaments, capped off by her first and only major victory at the U.S. Women's Open in 2014. She would end up retiring after the U.S. Women's Open in 2022 with no more victories to her name, in a career that many called overrated. For Wee West, though, she felt that her golf career was still fulfilling, especially considering her major victory in 2014. Prior to her retirement, Wee said, "The U.S. Women's Open victory means everything to me. It was the one tournament I wanted to win ever since I started playing golf. If I hadn't won the 2014 U.S. Open, I definitely wouldn't retire, and I would still be out here playing and chasing that win." Though the critics have always been present in Wee's career, she has counted herself as a success for her long career and ability to bounce back from setbacks. Off of the course, she has accomplished a great deal as well, graduating from Stanford in 2012 while still maintaining a full schedule as a professional golfer. To hear her tell it, "I have zero regrets in my career. I have definitely had an up and down career, but I'm extremely proud for the resiliency that I've shown." To check both of those, graduating from Stanford and winning a U.S. Open, off the list means everything to me. I'm very proud of myself. I've always wished I would have done more, but I feel like everyone kind of feels that way, so I'm definitely giving myself some grace and enjoying this last week. Although her professional golf days are effectively over, Wee isn't quite done with the game of golf in terms of her life and career. She still plans to lead a women's golf initiative for equipment supplier LA Golf and also plans to advocate for equal treatment of women throughout the sport of golf. So, what happened to Michelle Wee? It might just be a classic case of the hype train accelerating out of control, or it might be a case of injury causing a promising young athlete's career to flame out. Either way, it's an interesting case in the world of golf, and one that provides a cautionary tale to anyone looking to anoint the next great golfer, regardless of their gender. So, what do you think caused Michelle Wee's career to fall off? Do you think that she made the right move by playing men's tournaments in addition to LPGA tournaments? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.